Well, hello, my friends. Today we're going to talk about why you need to stop hating yourself in order to lose the extra weight. What you weigh today, how you eat, whether you binge today, your bad habits, all of those things are the results that you created. But when we look at ourselves and we look at what we've created, we immediately go to judging ourselves, right? You judge, you hate yourself. Some of the ways this might show up for you are like this, okay? You can't stand to look in the mirror. You say awful things to yourself that you would never say to anyone else. You hate that number on the scale. You might call yourself some ugly names, and maybe you won't put any money into nice looking outfits that flatter your body right now. So, why do we do this? Because you think you don't deserve anything nice now, right? Not yet. You think a number defines what kind of person you are. And so you don't want to treat yourself well until you reach another number, or until you stop binging, or until you get your life more together. Well, this is a little bit like beating up a puppy because it's not housebroken yet, or punishing a child who can't read yet. You would never do those things, right? But you do even worse to yourself just for being where you are right now. You think that if you don't excel right now, you need to beat yourself up to get where you want to go. But you guys, the beating makes you feel less than, right? Demoralized, even more unworthy with no hope of changing. And you guys, that feels so bad that you escape that feeling by eating way more than you need, way more often. So, what's the answer? The answer is making peace with your weight, your body, and your thoughts right now. I know it sounds and feels counterintuitive, but hating yourself makes you pull away and stop. And love lets you take care and keep going, right? So remember that you need to be taking action on all three fronts, right? Body, mind, self care. And you need to be consistent. So, in order to take these actions, you need to create a feeling that makes you feel good right now. It's all about taking care of yourself, okay? About giving yourself what you need right now at 325 pounds or 210 pounds or 155 pounds. Your number actually doesn't matter because it's just your starting point. It's just a neutral point of measurement of beginning to work on you. If it means anything more than that, it's only because that's the story you've chosen to tell yourself. Also, you're naturally afraid that if you make peace with yourself right now, that you'll never change. The fact is that if you don't make peace with yourself right now, you will never change, or the change is going to be really short lived. And you guys, exceptionally difficult. In order to move forward, you need to pause and assess where you are. Look at where you want to go, and then look at the gap. Make a plan of what you need to do, and then ask yourself, how will I need to feel to do it? So, for example, if part of your plan is taking a walk after dinner each night, how will you need to feel to get yourself to do it? If taking your lunch to work a few times a week is part of your plan, how will you need to feel to get yourself to do that? And if noticing your moods and gently inquiring what you're thinking when your mood turns dark, right? If that's part of your plan, how will you need to feel to get yourself to do that? All of these things are just simple actions, right? So why is it that sometimes you can get yourself to do them and other times it takes such tremendous force and willpower to do them? And then, right, other times it's just a lost cause, right? You simply can't get yourself to do that no matter what you try. Well, getting yourself to take an action all comes from the feeling, from the emotion that you have. If you feel determined and excited about your future results, you will take that walk. If you want to minimize your temptation when everyone else in the office orders a big lunch, you might want to feel compassion for yourself and your goal, and you'll want to feel caring. And if you want to take charge of your moods and stay on a mostly feel good path in order to check in and take a look at your mind and thoughts, you will want to feel kind of like a gentle curiosity. So, if you want to continue and create a formula that will work for you, instead of giving up at the first roadblock, you want to feel worthy, deserving. You want to feel a gentle kick in the butt from yourself, right? Firm and loving. If you don't determine how you want to feel and then create it, you won't be able to consistently take any of the steps you need to take and keep on taking them. So, the foundation for moving ahead is accepting where you are right now so that you can take your forward steps that we just talked about. If you feel undeserving and unworthy, know that it's not a fact. Okay. Your number never determines your worth, but that unworthy feeling is created by you. And it comes not from your weight, not from your number, but from your thoughts, from what you're thinking about it. So once you clarify those steps that you want to take and you figure out what emotion is going to help you take those steps, then you want to figure out, well, all right, I know how I want to feel. I know what I need to do, but how do I create that feeling? And this is where you'll play with and kind of manage your thoughts, right? If you want to feel determined and excited to take that walk after dinner, you might choose to think something like this: I feel so good after I move my body, it's worth it. If you want to feel caring and compassion to allow yourself to prep for lunch for work a few times a week, you might choose to think something like this: I will be so proud of myself if I bring my lunch and skip the temptations. And if you want to manage your moods when they turn dark, instead of just allowing the negative feeling to run your life, you might want to choose something like this: I noticed my mood changing. I must be thinking something that's creating it. What is it? I'm curious. So you can see how you're not only having to figure out what to do next, but you need to create a mood that will let you take action without too much of a struggle and without too much push. So then you need to back up and see what kind of thought is going to make that easier. Like, I'm a really big proponent of managing your thoughts, but I don't think it should be a constant struggle. But sometimes we wait for the mood to come over us to feel inspired so that we want to take the action. And sometimes, guys, we just need to take the action and the inspiration will come. So it's a combination of looking at your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions to get the final results that you want. But if you're hating yourself, you're hating your body and your habits and your weight, those feelings, those negative feelings and painful feelings are pretty much going to stop you from doing what you most need to do. And that is to move forward. So, coming back to the beginning again, getting rid of the hatred that you have for yourself currently at this weight is what we need to do first. And that means uncovering some of the thoughts that perpetuate those negative feelings. If you think that you're unworthy, it's going to feel awful, right? Of course it will. If you think that you don't deserve happiness, again, that's not going to feel very good. And I think lots of women or, people in general truly can't believe that at a certain weight that they really do deserve happiness and good relationships and peace. Your weight has nothing to do with your happiness. Your thoughts create your happiness. If your weight determined your happiness, think about this, right? If your weight determined your happiness, then everyone over a certain number in the height and weight charts would definitely, guaranteed, to be miserable. Everyone. It would just be a given, right? But it's not. It's not true. There are happy people at all different weights, and there are unhappy people at all weights. Just as there are people with very little money who are happy and people with tons of money who are unhappy. So it's not the money and it's not the weight. It's not the clothes, it's not the house or apartment, it's not the husband or the kids or the job. You can be happy in any circumstance if you create believable thoughts that create the feelings of happiness or peace. Good feelings move you forward. Negative feelings, which are quite optional, I hope you're seeing that. Negative feelings hold you back. Now, I'm not talking about negative feelings that are a part of life, like grief after a loss, or sadness after a change that really negatively affects your life, or fear after a health challenge, right? Those feelings are natural and they're a part of experiencing, the full range of emotions, the good and the bad. We want to feel them. The feelings I'm talking about are the ones that have no benefit, right? Except to hold you back from what you want most. And those feelings include the hatred of yourself and your body that creates shame about who you are in the world. And it feels like there's no escape from those self-created torturous feelings. So some of us escape with a distraction. And if you're listening here, most likely you escape with food. That food reinforces your negative habits and it gives you a body weight that you don't want. And then it perpetuates more bad feelings about yourself. So, what you need to do is stop the cycle. Stop the self hatred, the name calling, the beatings that are going down in your mind. Because in order to move forward, you must make peace with yourself. Let's think about how you can look at your eating behaviors and your weight right now and feel peaceful. So, let me ask you this. What's true for you right now? Are you a decent person? Are you working on this? Are you doing the best you know right up to this point? And are you going to find a way to figure this out and solve this puzzle? Yes, you are. And I'm going to continue to help you. But it all comes down to making peace with where you are right now. And that involves creating the thought that will allow you to feel compassion for yourself. If you're a binge eater or a nibbler or an emotional eater, all those ways of eating are your way of doing what you think will make you feel better when life is challenging. Do they work? Well, short term, yes, they do, right? They distract you from your problem or your challenge. And food is a reward, especially the processed food with fat or sugar, right? It lights up a part of your brain that makes you feel good. So, in a way, you are really trying to do something that will help you. You don't start out saying, I think I'll just gain 30, 40, 50 pounds to feel better. No one says that, right? You just aren't looking ahead at your future results from eating now when you're not hungry. You want immediate relief from some painful thoughts, okay? And so when you eat for that relief, that's exactly what you're trying to give yourself. And remember, you probably didn't create this overeating routine all by yourself. Most of us learned from our parents that food treats make us feel better, right? There is no school that teaches you how to manage your mind, not as a kid. But now, as an adult, you do have another choice. You can figure out what's causing your feelings and your urges to eat when you're not hungry. And you can learn how to notice those thoughts, how to see that you're having them, and see that you have choices of whether or not to believe them. And as you go through this process of seeing your mental wiring, there is no benefit to hating yourself while you do it. Not if you want to keep going. So I want you to make a promise to yourself, okay? I want you to notice what you usually say when you get on the scale. I want you to notice what you say to yourself when you get dressed or when you finish a meal. Notice how those internal conversations make you feel, right? And if you feel bad, I want you to treat those thoughts like a bad Facebook friend, right? Truly, I do. I want you to unfriend that part of you because you don't deserve to be talked to the way you have been. Nobody does. Okay? It's time to stand up for you and demand better treatment at your weight right now. You can do this. Okay? It's going to feel strange in the beginning, no doubt. Okay. You'll notice yourself thinking a common put down thought, and you'll notice that it causes you to feel, less than, unworthy, ashamed, even. But your brain has been trained to believe it. So even if you say to yourself, well, that's not true, I'm a good person, I'm doing the best I can, there's going to still be a part of your brain that will answer, no, you're not. You're fat. You're terrible. You don't deserve to be happy. I want you to quickly remind yourself that this is just an old story that you've practiced a lot. Okay. It's painful, but it's natural, right? It's familiar. And it's just not true. It's fiction. Okay. I want you to begin to separate the facts from the fiction and take a more active role in how you feel so that you can get yourself to do what you want to do. Okay, my friends, so much love.